Okay, you guys, I thought I'd go through using the exercise 1-9 template. Thought I'd go through um, how you'd fill it out, except I'm just going to kind of make up the numbers, and then you could use the numbers from the problem itself as you're working exercise 1-9. So in A, they're actually asking you to calculate the direct materials purchased, or the cost of the direct materials purchased during the period. So they give you direct materials used during the period. Or they just called that direct materials used. I'm not going to use their number though, I'm just going to go with one here, 150,000. Okay, and then they also give you this amount as well. Add inventory of direct materials at the end of the period. So I'm going to use 20,000. Alright, so if we take the cost of materials used during the period and add what we have left in materials at the end of the period, it gives us total direct materials available to be used during that period. In this case, my example, 170,000. Now, if we subtract out the amount of direct materials we had at the beginning of the period, because those were purchased in the previous year, right? So let's subtract those out. I'll just use 15,000 as my number. And that gets us to direct materials purchased during the period, 155,000. Okay, now you can use these numbers lots of different ways, you guys. This is kind of similar to a T account. But if we wanted to know direct materials used during the period, let's say that's the one that we weren't given. Well, we could take direct materials purchased during the period. We'd add our beginning inventory of direct materials. That'd be 155,000 plus 115. Gets us to 170,000, the same direct materials available during the period. Well, then if we subtract out our our direct materials at the end of the period, we get back to the 150. So you could work this in either direction. The first number or the last number could have been your unknown. Given the other information, you could have figured it out. On the B part, they want you to calculate direct labor cost, and they give you direct materials cost, or the cost of direct materials used, and factory overhead incurred. Well, this one's really easy. Your three manufacturing costs are direct materials, direct labor, and factory overhead. Well, if we know total manufacturing cost, say 500,000. We subtract direct materials used, which was given. I'll be consistent and use the one from above, 150,000. Put that over here, though. I believe they put it in this column. And then our factory overhead incurred, let's say 130,000. Then they'd add those two together. Gives you 280,000. I don't know what they're doing here. They're taking total manufacturing cost, and they're going to subtract out direct materials and factory overhead. That difference would have to be labor. What's that, 220? So they're asking you direct labor. They give you total, and they give you the other two components, direct materials and factory overhead. So if you take the total, subtract out direct materials and factory overhead, you get labor. You could work that other ways as well. You could take total manufacturing cost, subtract out direct labor and direct materials. That would give you factory overhead. I'm sure you see how that works. We'll see, they're looking for cost of goods sold. Well, if you have cost of goods available for sale, let's say 600,000. and we just subtract out the cost of the goods in finished goods inventory at the end of the year. That's just the goods that we've manufactured, we just haven't sold them yet. So if we subtracted that out as 120,000, okay, that's the cost of the goods available for sale, less the cost of the goods we have left at the end of the year. That gets us down to 480,000, and that would be your cost of goods sold. And you were given this information: cost of goods available for sale and your ending finished goods inventory. Alright, then they just wanted a little gross profit section of the income statement. They give you the sales number. Let's say that's 1 million. And then cost of goods sold, we said it was 480,000. So then our gross profit, excuse me, I got those in the wrong place. Let's say sales was 800,000. Well, I'm sorry, I think we said 1 million. Okay, and then cost of goods sold was 480,000. The difference in the two would be our gross profit, 1 million minus the 480,000. It's your 520,000 for gross profit. Now again, I just made up these numbers in the example, but several of them, most of them are given to you in the problem. And then I think you see the ones you need to add or subtract on. Let's go back through them. If we know direct materials used during the period, we can add direct materials inventory at the end of the period. That gets us our total materials available for that period, let's say a year. Okay, we subtract out the inventory that we had of direct materials at the beginning of the year, and that tells you price paid for materials during the period. You could also work that one backwards. On B, they're just testing, do you know what makes up total manufacturing cost? Well, it's direct materials, direct labor, and factory overhead. They give you direct materials and factory overhead, so if you subtract those from the total, you get the direct labor cost. Then you can take your cost of goods available for sale for the whole year, subtract out your finished goods inventory at the end of the year, and that gets you cost of goods sold during the period. And then your little gross profit section of your income statement, this is very crude, but you just take sales less cost of goods sold, and that gives you your gross profit. You guys, I hope after you watch the video with these examples here, the exercise 1-9 will be fairly simple for you. If you have any questions, please let me know. Thanks.